All right. So, what we're gonna do? Let's just tell a few people. How we going, guys? Just thought I'd come on for a little bit. Ba-ba-doo-ba-doo. Live from the UK. Obviously YouTube is supposed to notify everyone, which never happens. Hi Stacey. I thought I'll come on for a bit. I'm just now quickly telling a few people we're live, so that it's not just you and me. Hope you're well, Stacey. Oh, Joe Sins messaged me. Hi, Joe Sins. How you going, my friend? Hi, Cherie. So the plan is, I thought we could have a discussion and pick the next topic. Right. Let me just quickly tell some people on Instagram. So Lorna, Lorna sent me a few messages. Hi, Lorna. So I share the thing that she sent me. I'm just going to share the thing that Lorna sent me. Hi, Linda. I just thought, sod it, I'm going to come on for a few minutes. Why not? I'm just messaging a few people. Rick's messaged me. So Rick sent me some stuff. What is that? We reveal Priscilla Presley untold story in her own searing of words as Get Set for the hit, including the real reason she divorced Elvis and remarried. So Rick sent me this. Okay, we'll read that. Let me just forward it. That's the first time I've seen that. Right, that's the first time I've seen that. Let's have a look. I put that onto my little storage thing. So I'm just letting everyone know, guys. Right, so let's tell Carolyn. Let's tell Angie. So Joanne, I've just told Joanne. Joanne sent me a present. You're going to laugh at the present she sent me. You're going to laugh. You know, I've had a bit of a bad throat, yeah? Well, Joanne, this is no messing. Joanne, with Amazon, sent me some Hall's Soothers. Hall's Soothers, honey lemon flavour. Seriously, guys. Joanne, I had this big parcel come. This big. This big. This is from Joanne. And this is what came out of it. Obviously, we know Joanne likes to send me a few things. She sent me my most dramatic channel. So I do treasure this. And she also recently sent me this lovely little book. Yeah, they're throat lozenges. She sent me some lozenges. Cute. Ah, it's so sweet. Now I have just emailed her to tell her we're live. We're live. I'll tell her again, we're live. So I'm just letting a few people know on. Let's tell Karen. Let's tell Emily. Let's wake everyone up. Did I message Carol? Did I message Carolyn? I think I did. Carolyn. Then we got Angie, sorry. See, guys, you got to all message each other. So when we go live, you can all tell each other. Yeah, so yes, I love the night lights. Yeah, it glows, doesn't it? So Joanne's watching. Joanne, I got your sweets. I'm gonna eat one now. Your lozenge for my throat. My throat still is a bit poorly. I used to have these when I was little. Guys, did you have these when you were little? These lozenges, these Hall's mentholyptus. This is the honey lemon flavour. You're losing your voice, Louis, because you're screaming from the rooftops defending our Elvis. Or my son goes to school, catches a cold, brings it to me. It brings back memories of the 70s. I used to have these in the 70s. Did any of you have these in the 70s? They have after a while the honey comes out. Thank you, Joanne. It's very thoughtful. Okay. Right. Let's tell a few people. I'll try and talk with this sweet in my mouth. I will take it out in a minute. Should we tell Joe that we're live? Joe Sins. We'll tell Amy. So I spoke to Colin Paul today. I've asked a few people today about this topic that we're doing concerning Elvis's family. I have made a decision. It's time to get off the topic. Yeah. I'm like, we've done enough. Any more doing that topic, you know, the family topic, I feel that it's overkill. How many of you here think we've done enough on that topic? Right. So I am officially announcing today that we are moving on to the next topic. It's time to move on. Right, let's tell Dan. Let's tell Elaine. Karen. Catherine. Let's just message a load of you. If we can. Diana hasn't been on for a while. Diana. She comes and goes. Andrew Phillips. Let's tell Richie Boy. Richie Boy. Hi, Linda. How are you? Stacey's on. Regina and Deborah. Shauna, Sundowners. I need to get faster at this, don't I? So then we've got Susie. We've got Mike. Mike's very helpful. He gives me some very good advice. Blah, blah. Then we've got Pat. Hi, Angie. Yes, Angie says it's time to move on. I think we've milked that cow. Does that make sense? Now, obviously, we may get a bit of we still are awaiting our backlash. So if we get a backlash, it's a different story. Then we might have to address it. But at the moment, I'm drawing a line in the sand and saying it's time to move on. Okay, right. We've got Jimmy. So, guys, do we have any suggestions for a new topic? We've got Melissa. Any suggestions for a new topic? Tonya and Jane. Jane Trinal. So many names. Pamela. Joanne. We've got two Joannes. Carolyn. Is it Clara Maria? Clara Maria and her mum Lucy. So, I think that's everyone on. We've got Rose Finney. So I spoke to Colin Paul today. Do you know, I wanted to ask a few people, because I woke up saying we have to get off this topic. We've done enough on it. So I messaged a few people, asked their advice. One of them was Colin Paul, the singer. And he actually said to me that he's friends with these people, and he gave me some very good advice. So Colin Paul, the singer. Do any of you know Colin? He's been on our show before. He does watch us. He definitely supports that we defend Elvis, 100%. Do any of you remember him? He goes to all the big conventions. They've just been in Benidorm, yeah? Kathy in Australia. He's a good guy. I also messaged, I think I mentioned it to a few people and said, look, it's time we need to get off this topic. I asked people's advice, and I think the general feeling is that it did. Oh, there's a picture of Joe. Look at Joe, he's had his haircut. Joe, you can't tell, he's had his haircut. He's looking cool, Joe. Joe Sins at Rare Elvis Photos. Looking cool, my friend. Yeah, the Colin Paul, he's a proper entertainer. He does many performances with very famous people. I think he has just been one in the backing support group with Emilio Santoro, you know, the guy from Western Supermare, the guy from my hometown that was at Graceland when Karen was there. Colin has just done an event with him in Benidorm. In fact, I bet you, I've been watching him on Facebook anyway. I bet you there's let's have a look. I bet you if I put on here, it'll come up. I know it's definitely been on his Facebook. Is this it? Let's have a look. 6 years ago, that won't be it. No. No, these are old, so it won't be this one. Let's go on Facebook. So no particular reason to come on, guys, and just I did want to discuss a new topic. So let's go back on it. So okay. Let's see if it will come up. So we've got Emilio Santoro. Let's just see if his Benidorm stuff comes up with Colin Paul. Get my earphones on. Look at that. I like the black suit, mate. I wonder if I put in the name. Hang on, Emilio Santoro Benidorm. See if it comes up. No, it's not coming. There we go. April the 28th. Here we go. So this is in Benidorm. Wouldn't that be a dream come true, guys? Wouldn't that be great to just go to, let's all meet up in Benidorm, you know, in Spain. Watch Emilio and the other Elvis tribute acts. Colin Paul was there as well. We'd all meet up in Spain, have a few drinks, have a bit of a boogie. What do you reckon, guys? Good idea? Debbie laughed at that. I was going to say Louis looking through his contact. Huh? What are you on about? All right, my contact's on my Facebook. I don't care. Don't bother me, mate. I got nothing to hide. Debbie laughed at that. I was going to say Louis. I'll tell you what, you get a lot of spam on Facebook. It drives me you wouldn't believe the spam I get on my Elvis, Defending Elvis group. I get about 150 spam comments a day on my Defending Elvis. I delete them. Obviously, it has to be accepted by me. So I spend a lot of time every day deleting all the spam. I get them on my personal one, Louis McCready's, but on the Defending Elvis, I get loads. I have no idea why. So it takes me a while to sort of sift through and pick out the good ones. Hi, Louis. Talk about Lisa's book and Priscilla's book. Okay, so we're suggesting new topics, yeah? Yeah, I think Lisa's book is a good topic. The problem we got with Lisa's book, obviously it's here, yeah? Let me just show you. Is I start reading it and it makes me cry. I find Lisa's book very hard to read. I'm not sure what you guys are like. I struggle with this book. It's a very easy book. Obviously, the big letters, short chapters. I've read it and I've listened to it a few times as well. It's quite upsetting. Sometimes I'll put it on YouTube. I stick it on audio on YouTube. There's a free audio book on YouTube, and I just fall asleep to it. But it can be quite upsetting, can't it? Do we agree with that, guys? That From Here to the Great Unknown is quite an upsetting book to read. Yes, right. Let's have a look. Yeah, my throat is still going. Might have to have another sweet. Quite enjoyed that one, actually. Yeah, so Linda says you prove your point 1,000,000%. Guys, I must say that taking on that topic has probably been the hardest thing I've done since starting defending Elvis. That particular topic, it bothered me. It bothered me. I agree we had to do it. I agree that we had to. It can't just be this thing that is never mentioned. I don't think that was right. I don't think it's fair to Elvis or to Lisa to never do that topic. But I'm glad we're putting it to bed, because it was bothering me. It was bothering me. Yeah. So I still, very passionate, had to do it, but it was starting to get to me. So we definitely have to put an end to that topic. But it's fine, guys. We have millions of topics. So let's just quickly check your messages. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I struggle with this book. It's hard. It's hard. Let's have a look. Right, just checking all your topics. Okay, right. We were just saying about Emilio. So Chris Paul was one of the guys that I'd asked for his advice, and he reminded me that they're in Benidorm with Emilio. So I can't play too much because YouTube will jump in and block it. They do that. They can actually do it whilst you're on air. They can jump in and shut the video down. So I won't push my luck. Ooh, why did that do that? Let's have a look. See, look, it just happened then. See, the music got cut off. That's not fair. So where are we? So Chris gave me some good advice. Chris, if you are watching, thank you for your advice. So I did post a few things. So obviously I'm not going to go through the comments, but we've had a lot of comments concerning that topic. I found this old clip, about the 90th birthday celebrations. I posted them. I know that it's already happened. So if I get something that I think is a little bit interesting, I will post it. Let's have a look. I mean, Riley looks lovely, doesn't she? I actually saw a Riley. Where is it? I was watching a Riley video. Okay, up. Where are we? I was watching a Riley video. Let's see if it comes up on my history. Actually, first, I'll play this. So I found this old clip and I pieced it together. Isn't his name something Hamilton? There's a singer that Elvis really admired. Something Hamilton. Is it Roy Hamilton? Let's click on it. Hi guys, time for Louis to learn. I'm asking Team Elvis, do you know anything about the details of this clip? What year it was? Who's in this video? Just literally anything. Educate me, guys. Thanks a lot. So we're quickly going to go back in time. I'm guessing this is the 60s. What do you reckon, guys? Elvis playing his guitar there. I think that guy is a very famous singer, isn't he? That really massively influenced Elvis. That sounds a lot like Elvis. And Vernon just looks very relaxed and comfortable. Who's the guy with the grey top on? This guy here. Who's the guy with the glasses? Let me know, guys. You're the experts. Team Elvis. It's quiz time. Love it. I love seeing Elvis looking relaxed and happy, and he gives us a little wave. Thanks, guys. All the best. Oh. As usual, Elvis just looking super cool. Dressed differently. Even his hair looks a bit different. Vernon looks happy. Everyone looks happy. Could you imagine being there, guys? Thanks, everyone. Enjoy. Okay. Right, let's get you guys back up. So, yeah, I quickly pieced that together. Hillbilly. It's Roy Hamilton, isn't it? Isn't that his name? I think him and Elvis did become friends, and he was a big influence on Elvis. I think. Tell me if I'm wrong. So I stumble across these little clips. Hi, everyone. There's a few more of you joining now. Hi, everyone. I hope you're all well. I haven't got a particular topic. Look what I've got, guys. Elvis Presley quiz book. Yeah, it wasn't Roy Orbison. Hi, Carolyn Gilbert. How are you? Look at that. I got a quiz book. Shall I ask some questions? But I was watching something. I think Roy Hamilton. Yeah, I think he sounded a lot like Elvis, didn't he? I've done a video about him before. Yeah, that's it. So Karen knows Roy Hamilton. So come on, should we see if we can ask a few questions on this? What do you reckon? So I wanted to get everyone together tonight, and I just want to officially announce we are moving off the topic of Elvis's family member. I think we've done enough. I think I don't want to push it. I just want to say that to the people, to the people we have been discussing. Obviously, it's all about defending Elvis. I feel that Team Elvis, together, we've said enough on that topic. So I don't want to go back to that topic. Yeah, obviously, there's a possibility we'll be forced to go back to it because if we get a big backlash. But the general thing at the moment is that we are completely moving off the topic. Yeah, right. So now we're all talking about Roy Hamilton. If there's any suggestions for new topics, let me know. I've got loads of things anyway, but if anyone can think of a topic they think would be a good way to defend, we need to obviously get back to talking about Priscilla. Of course we do. I want to do some Lisa Marie videos, some Lisa Marie topics as well. So should we just see if it comes up? Roy Hamilton, Elvis. Let's see if it comes up. Roy Hamilton and Elvis. Here we go. No, I think let's have a look. That's what this. So I haven't watched this. Let's just see what it is, guys.
Elvis immediately began a journey to regain control of his musical career. His first item of business was the songs themselves. Elvis knew he couldn't just retread his former
So it's a BBC documentary. Let's see what happens.
rock and roll glory. Nonetheless, to find the sound of his future, he looked deep into his past.
Hiya, Roy. You all set to go? Okay, let's cut one.
His musical hero, seen here in a rare movie appearance, was Roy Hamilton.
My chickadee, come here to me.
An obscure R&B singer who greatly influenced Elvis's early vocal style.
Roy had a record called "I'm Gonna Hold On Tight."
I mean, I heard that Roy ended up having problems. Didn't he have like emotional problems with other things? Let's see if it's mentioned on here.
He was Elvis goes, that's got to be the bottom part of my voice. And Elvis just grabbed it, okay?
So who do you think when your house such a luck? I'm in love. Come on, shut up.
Hamilton had managed to extend his career by abandoning the youthful energy of his early R&B hits for a measured string of ballads aimed at a more mature audience, as he demonstrates here in the movie Let's Rock.
So you can sort of see how Elvis was heavily influenced by this guy.
But I can't find it all alone.
My father was an amazing balladeer. He had a great operatic and gospel type style. He a big booming voice, and it was like I would call him the Black Caruso, of the music, rhythm and blues.
Has anyone ever watched this documentary, BBC documentary?
The Black Caruso of rhythm and blues.
Walk on through the rain.
If Hamilton could do this, why not Elvis? So it was.
Oh, I love that song. That's Jerry the Pacemaker's song, isn't it? Walk On. One of Elvis Presley's biggest inspirations and mentors, Roy Hamilton. Listen to the stories directly from Roy Hamilton Jr. and friends and family and legacy. You can watch the full documentary via this link. Okay. So in case you want to watch it, guys, Elvis Presley and Roy Hamilton BBC documentary. Let's give them a subscribe and a like. Looks good, guys.
To the later Hamilton that the king looked for his own second coming. On the 10th of September 1967, Elvis booked into RCA's Studio B in Nashville with his producer Felton Jarvis to record the Rodgers and Hammerstein ballad You'll Never Walk Alone, which had been a hit for Hamilton back in the 50s.
That's interesting. For the Liverpool fans, yeah? It's a handsome man, wasn't he? Beautiful, beautiful.
What I think Elvis took from my father is the big sound, the big voice, a strong vibrato. That gospel flavor, you know, being that Elvis was also a very spiritual person, he just kind of adapted that style, and it worked.
Bloody right, it worked. So, okay, I mean, I think it's very clear that Elvis was very similar. So here's the clip that I played. This is the clip I played you guys. A rare sort of clip. I don't know if there's any sound to it. So does it give us any information? So January the 29th, was it? 1966, was it? Missed it. Oh, 69. 69. clip is respectfully dedicated to Roy Hamilton. That was interesting, guys. Let's just see what else comes up on with that name. Obviously, that clip is repeated again and again, isn't it? What is that? Roy Hamilton, Elvis Presley collaborates on one of many projects. What is this? Let me just see.
Roy
Let's just see
Hamilton
what
was
this is.
born on April 16th, 1929 in Leesburg, Georgia.
We'll have a little listen, guys, yeah?
He was popular for being an R&B singer who achieved popularity in the 50s with singles like Unchained Melody. In the summer of 1943, when Hamilton was 14, the family migrated north to Jersey City, New
Let me just see what YouTube channel this is. Where in the world? I think I've heard of this YouTube channel. Let's give them a like. Where in the world? Okay, let's keep going with it, guys.
Jersey, in search of a better life. There he sang with the Central Baptist Choir, New Jersey's most famous African-American church choir. On January 22nd, 1969, Elvis Presley met with Roy Hamilton, which would become one of many collaborative efforts between the two to make music.
Bye, Caroline. So, Frederick, I walked 4.2 miles today in the mist at 9C. Good exercise. Well done. See, Frederick, you can't beat a good walk. I like to think that I influenced you with the walking. All right, okay, we've seen this. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, let's just try a bit here.
Seen here in a rare movie appearance was Roy Hamilton. Energy of his early R&B hits for a measured.
I hungered for your touch.
So in closing, Roy Hamilton made many contributions to music in the 50s and the 60s and deserves to be nominated into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
So long.
Yeah, they're all sort of saying the same stuff. Oh, this looks like the family a bit older. Let's have a look.
It's true love. Don't worry about me. I know that tears will only drive you farther away. Just go, forget that I.
It's a beautiful voice, isn't it? It sort of has, I don't know, it has that sort of, oh, what feel is it? That sort of, Christmassy 1940s, 50s. Sort of, I can't put it into words, but, you know, you get that feeling from someone's voice, that really soft, woolly sort of voice.
I'm alive, it's your holiday. But when you're tired of being reckless and carefree, remember that
I like it.
I'm waiting to welcome you home. So have a good time.
So have a good time. Love it.
I know that tears will only drive you farther away. Just go, forget that I'm alive. It's your holiday. Oh, but when you're tired of being reckless and carefree, remember that I'll be waiting to welcome you home. So have a good time.
Oh, I thought that was beautiful. So I think Elizabeth's going. So I was watching some Riley Keough stuff before I got on here. Let's see if I can get it up because I quite liked it. It was an old interview. Let me see if it will let me see the history. Hi guys. Hang on a minute. We need some history. Your history. Time for Louis to learn. Is it going to let me? Let's have a look. Let's try on here. No. Let's find it. So Riley Keough was being interviewed. I can find it. Is this it? No, that's not it. Nothing is working for me. Right, hang on a minute. Let's just start all over again. Let's just go YouTube. Right, so is it going to let me go home and then go history? For some reason, it's not letting me do it. Okay, let me play this anyway. No, right. Why is it doing that? Let me just think. Let's see if it will just Riley. We'll do it another way. Riley Keough interview. There was a very sweet little interview. It wasn't very long, but I really liked it. Wonder if it'll come up. Quite a short interview. What's this? Riley Keough, incredible emotional journey finish the memoir. All right, let's listen to this. This looks good. Oh yes, I like this interview. This is one of my favourites.
Was she convinced? How did she?
So you like this, guys? It's very telling. It really does. She does ask some important questions. So this is a bit of a taster on us moving on to new topics. Okay, guys? It's all right. Come on in, man. I'm only on for another 10 minutes. All right. Are they alone?
Tyler's up there, but they're...
Oh, she's with Tyler. All right.
No, not with Tyler, on their own, but they are on the phone, so I was going to take them off. But
yeah, no, it's all right. It's okay, because they're with their daughter, they're with their sister, so I'm happy. Right. Right, but I'm only on for 10 more minutes. All right, let's have a look. Hi, Sundowners. How are you? Riley will be back doing lots of appearances later this year as her movies are coming. So, just so everyone knows, we are going on to new topics now. I definitely want to start doing more about Riley. I want to do some more about Lisa as well. So let's press play.
Convince herself that her life story deserved to be told.
I don't know if she did. I think that she just felt like a desire to connect with people and share her life experiences because she'd been through so much. And I think she kind of thought, you know, what's the point of going through all of these things like, you know, addiction and loss and, you know, very human things, falling in love and having children if you can't share your story and, you know, help other people feel less alone in the world. So I think it was more about human connection and helping people, I think, was her motive.
That human connection is obviously the story of her life, but you wrote the book in part by listening to tapes of her speaking about her life. Can you tell us what that experience was like?
It was incredibly emotional. You know, I think when your loved ones pass away, typically there's, you know, you have some videos or maybe voicemails or a couple things left over, but to have like 16 tapes of your parent who's passed away telling them.
So guys, remember, she says 16 tapes, yeah? I know that someone said to me, it might have been Pat, was it Pat? Someone said 36 tapes, but if she's saying 16 tapes, it probably is, yeah? Do we agree?
Her entire life story was like really beautiful and also felt daunting to listen to. When I first heard the tapes, it was incredibly emotional because it was the first time I'd heard her voice since she'd passed away. And then I started just formatting it into the book, and the stories also got very funny and wild and crazy, and then it became more of, you know, more It started to feel more like a phone call with her, which was really beautiful.
I love that. I love that. It felt like a phone call. Wouldn't we've already covered this interview, I remember, but wouldn't that be lovely to have a phone call with a parent you've lost, to feel that you were having a phone call? So eventually the tapes took on that effect with her. I think that's beautiful.
In a way, I keep kind of wanting to tell people that they should, you know, if their parents are alive, record them, kind of giving their oral history, because it's really like beautiful to have.
You're very lucky in that way. Now, talking about Wild and Crazy, she describes her childhood at Graceland, and she describes the place upstairs where she had her room and Elvis had his room as a sanctuary. But what was Lisa Marie's childhood like there?
Wise men say.
She paused it.
It was incredibly wild and free, and I think she felt very connected and loved, and it was her favorite place in the world.
It's funny because we run Defending Elvis. When I see these cute little pictures, obviously Elvis there holding lovely Lisa and Priscilla holding Lisa, and obviously Lisa there, how old is she? She's 6 months old. Because we run this channel, I always think what goes on behind what was happening. Yeah, I always think, oh, so Priscilla's there, Elvis is there, the baby's there, and I'm like, was this? I know I don't want to spoil it, but was this when she was having dance lessons? Do you get what I mean, guys? It's like things because of this, what we do, Defending Elvis. These sort of quite iconic, cute little videos take on a new meaning. So do you feel that as well, guys, when you watch these cute little clips?
World, and she had a lot of power there, and she was like a little princess who was allowed to do whatever she wanted, and I think that she was a little bit of a tyrant, so it's kind of funny to read, you know, those chapters, or I find them to be funny anyways.
Now, her adoration of her father is one of the strongest themes in the book. How would you describe their relationship?
I think that she was a daddy's girl, and she was, you know, she felt incredibly loved by him and protected by him, and
I love that. Do you hear that? She was a daddy's girl. She felt incredibly loved by him. I think we've all said this. Her younger years, before obviously, unfortunately, Priscilla moves out. For her, and in my opinion, forces her to live with a stranger, Mike Stone. But before that, I really do think Lisa had a perfect life, a perfect time with Elvis. Too young to understand the mechanics of the relationship between Elvis and Priscilla, which obviously was very bad. Very wrong. You know, I know they had happy times. Everyone does. But there must have been some serious unhappiness for all the horrible little things that led to the point where Priscilla is gone and takes Lisa with her. And then the devastation of that.
Just adored him, and he adored her, and they had a really incredible bond, and he was like her whole world, and I think she was his as well. And so it was a very significant relationship in her life.
Well, probably the most important, I would say. So you've got... See, this is the thing about ambition and the sort of the thirst for money, the thirst for fame, for attention, for spotlight, for being in the spotlight. It's a draw, isn't it? It's a big draw. It's very addictive. And for whatever reason, eventually things get manipulated to Elvis and Priscilla get married. You know, we could talk about it all day long, but what is going on in Priscilla's head? What is happening up here? She doesn't... I would say in some ways, Priscilla wasn't even ready for marriage, Because if she wasn't ready to have a child, which we know she wasn't, it's in Lisa's book, she wasn't really ready for marriage. So I always think she's holding the baby, she's with Elvis, but her mind is somewhere else. I always think that about Priscilla now, only because of our research that we've all done together, that you see the cute romantic pictures. It almost looks perfect. Elvis, Priscilla, a small baby. You think, wow, they've got it all. A beautiful home, a beautiful life. Everything seems perfect. But really, there's another agenda in Priscilla's mind of her alternate future. She had an alternate future in her mind. Now, I guarantee you that Elvis, the way he was he was just getting on with taking care of business. Yeah. So then doing the movies, probably was going to have another child. He was going to get on with his career. Now, you know, for whatever reason, eventually Elvis lives as a single man. That has problems as well. But my point is it's almost like they came together and then Priscilla went that way. Does that make sense? The marriage, which does seem forced, it was a forced marriage. And then very quickly, within months, her mind is somewhere else. So when you read the book, Elvis, What Happened, and you she describes that she couldn't stop thinking about Steve Peck, even when she was at home with Elvis. She says it in the book, page 262. You're like, how does that happen? How does this fake fairy tale marriage, they're in a beautiful new home. I think they had more than one home, with a beautiful baby. They've got it all. Could you imagine how lovely the home was? Because Elvis was very stylish. So he would have made sure that the home was perfect. He would have made sure Lisa Marie's bedroom was phenomenal. So Elvis would have made everything perfect. But she just wanted out. She wanted out. She had another life in her mind. So I always think it's not that she wanted to find herself. It's not that she felt that she'd lost herself. It's that she had different ambitions. Because you can be the sort of a person, like when I met my wife, we wanted to settle, we wanted to have kids. I was working, and we knew that's what we wanted. With Elvis, a whole different ball game, completely set. Priscilla had other plans. If anything, the baby was in the way. The baby was an obstacle to get past. Yeah. And in some ways, I feel that Lisa was used to get back at Elvis by Priscilla. You get that, guys? Priscilla things went quite wrong for them. And then Lisa now is a weapon. Yeah. The one thing I've always thought about Priscilla again is she loved the men. She fancied the guys. She fancied the boys. She fancied the men. It wasn't just Elvis who had an eye for the ladies. It was Priscilla. She had an eye for the men as well. And if you go back through history and you watch Priscilla's behavior, whether it be Steve Peck or Mike Stone, she liked the men. She did. People blame Elvis. People say, oh, Elvis liked the ladies. He was a ladies' man. So was Priscilla. Priscilla liked the men. You get it, guys? They were both a bit naughty. More than a bit, I would say. They said Elvis was white and sounded like a black man. Roy Hamilton. Yeah. He's such a good voice. Right, let's have so Louis, I was talking to my sister and she has had a story from my dad when he was at Graceland. One time I had not heard the story before. Elvis was at the piano and sang, "Please Don't Stop Loving Me." Beautiful. My dad told my sister people had tears in their eyes listening to him sing that song. She had 4 years to figure it out. By the way, when cameras weren't rolling, who was with Lisa's nanny and cooks. Thank you, Linda. Charlie Hodge sang it with it. Right, okay. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, isn't it, guys? Charlie Hodge singing with Elvis. I can imagine it. But you could, Carolyn, you could do without Charlie singing. Oh, poor Charlie. He always did his best. I have a harsher view of Priscilla's conduct in the period after 1977 than in the marriage period. As bad as she was in the marriage, the period always was very young and naive. Yeah, you know, we can't ignore that she was very young. Naive, I'm not so sure about. Young, I agree with you. Naive, dunno, mate, dunno. I think a few may disagree with that one. Linda's not in the 68 comeback special. I think Charlie kind of ruined it a little.
It seems from what you
let's play a bit more.
Say that he taught her how to love in a very big way.
I think so. I think that was in the way that she would talk. It's one of the greatest loves of her life, you know, was her father. And I think that because she shared that experience with, like, the world.
That's lovely. So Sean just said, my dad used to say Elvis was even better just by himself singing at the piano. I believe that.
I think it, like, maybe didn't leave room for her own grief and her own loss. So I think that was like a sort of a lifetime of her kind of, I guess, unpacking this thing that she held so tightly, which was her personal grieving experience.
Of course, you never met him. He's such a dominant figure, such a huge figure in really almost in the world's imagination. But what is he to you?
He's just like my grandfather to me. And
so this is interesting because Riley gets a bit of flack, doesn't she? I think Riley is quite honest with how she answers this. Some of the fans give her a hard time. You know, they think that there's no connection there. Of course, her connection with Elvis is going to be different than her mum's connection. Of course, it is detached. So I think this is about as genuine as you get.
And my mother's father, who passed away, and my relationship with him is very personal in that sense. Like anybody's, you know, who grew up kind of hearing about their grandfather would be. You know, I'm.
And hear what she says. Hearing about her grandfather. This is that people have to realize this. She never met Elvis. She heard about Elvis from Lisa. Yeah, so I can tell she feels a bit uncomfortable. She's trying to get through this question.
Aware that it's a different situation and he's everywhere, and I'm reminded of him often. But the emotional connection is personal, yeah.
And different from her mum.
There must be lights burning brighter somewhere.
Was the music present in your childhood, his music?
It was present in that it was always on the radio or in places I was walking into. You know, it's like Elvis is kind of, if you're trying to notice it, it's kind of everywhere.
Yep.
As far as her playing his music, she didn't really play his music until later in her life. I think that it was very personal to her. And she wouldn't, you know, the first time I remember her turning on his music was in the car with my sisters, so I would have been, you know, in my early 20s. And she put on the radio and said, you know, this is your grandfather singing. And I'd never heard her or seen her put his music on. So it was like I remember it vividly, and that's in the book as well. And prior to that, like, her relationship with his music was a very personal thing, and I think she would listen to it alone. And sometimes when she was drinking, at the end of the night, she would listen to it and feel emotional. But yeah,
Oh.
we didn't grow up with her kind of playing it all the time in the car. But if it came on the radio, she would leave it on.
What's it like for you?
Yeah, I mean, sort of, I don't know, because we all because we all love Lisa. We just feel sorry for her, don't we? We like when you hear that, you think, oh, poor Lisa. That's what I think anyway. So Frederick said, I had to defend her yesterday on the Graceland Instagram yesterday because some guy can't stand that she doesn't call him grandpa. I've heard this so many times, how she refers to Elvis. Even Lisa, did you know that Lisa never said dad? She always said him. Did you ever notice that, guys? When she's being asked questions about Elvis, obviously her father, she would always say blah 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 him, blah 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 him. Did you ever notice that, guys?
You now, Graceland, when you go back there, what are the feelings that you have about that place?
It's bittersweet. It's it used to be a place that was filled with kind of joy and fun, and our family would go for holidays and have dinners and stuff. And now it's difficult.
Karen was there. Karen, you were there.
My mother and my brother are both buried there, so it's definitely an emotional experience.
So my mum and my brother are buried there. So we think, oh, Graceland, like, wow, Graceland, Elvis lived there. It was Elvis's home, Gladys's home. But the reality is she sees it as a graveyard. Yeah? Do we agree with that, guys? The graveyard of her mum. It's as close as it gets. And they were very close, weren't they? So I know that the trashy fans don't want to say that they were close, but they were. Riley and Lisa were very close. Very close. Yeah. If you go back to the old footage, you can see it, how close they were. So to me, it's Lisa's daughter. That's enough for me. As soon as people say it's Lisa's daughter, we're there, aren't we? We support. We're the cushion. I like to think the fans are the cushion of Riley, Finley and Harper on behalf of Lisa and Elvis. That's how I see it.
But I try to still have like joyful moments with my family there and keep that alive, because I think that's important.
It's very hard for outsiders to understand the unique otherness, the weirdness of fame. Was that part of the attraction of Michael Jackson to your mother, that he was from that same world?
So they got to get the Michael Jackson question in. Whenever I watch these interviews, you always know there's certain things they're going to ask about. And the Michael Jackson one is always, was Michael Jackson weird? Yeah, that's the question. Yeah, let's see what is said.
World.
I don't think it. I don't think that was one of the reasons that she wanted to be in a relationship with him. I think that having that sort of lifestyle in common was probably like a shared experience that they had. But I don't think that was like the reason that she liked him.
She liked him because she liked him, right?
She liked him because she liked him, yeah.
Simple in that sense. What kind of a presence was he in your recollection?
In my experience as a child, he was just, he was my stepfather. So he was in my home, and it was like a kind of, it sounds kind of silly to say, but it felt like a pretty normal experience with a...
See, that's not the answer that the interviewer wants to say something weird. She just said, oh, felt pretty normal to me. Yeah. So she's not going to get her crazy answer. So Frederick says, the same guy said that Riley might have named Tupelo after an Indian tribe instead of honouring Elvis. That's so ridiculous. That is so ridiculous. Ugh. This is how unfairly treated Riley is. Riley gets a bad rap, guys. So unfair. The dog wants me to let him out. What's going on with you? It's freezing out there. It's freezing out there. The dog wants to go out in the cold. The Brits always ask about Michael. How about Michael Jackson? Right. Riley was thrown in the deep end and had no clue her mother was going to die so young. Very true, so true. I can't help but think, how could she just, after having Lisa? Yeah. Riley is bright and handles the questions with dignity. She sure does, Linda. Hi, that TV. Let's have a look. Okay, next.
Stepfather. He was very kind to us, and they would have a lot of fun together, and there was a lot of laughter and silliness, and that's, you know, that was my experience.
I mean, you read the book, guys. She says she was very happy with Michael Jackson. They had some very happy times. It was one of the happiest times of her life. So people like to trash the relationship and say it wasn't real, was fake and all that. There was more to it. And the other thing I've read was that they stayed friends. After they split up, they remained friends. There was some kind of jealousy towards, I'm trying to remember, towards Danny Keough. Because it was important to Lisa. She wanted to stay friends with Danny Keough, didn't she? Michael Jackson didn't like it. Obviously, of course she did, because it's the dad, innit? Of Ben and Riley. Danielle's her real name, innit? Yeah. So interesting, guys.
Your mother defended him against.
Right, guys, I'm going to have to go because the kids have come down. But guys, I'm going to have to go.